What's up, guys, and welcome back to another video on the WXPS Soccer channel. It's been a while. We've been busy with the holiday season coming up and all sorts, seasons ending, playoffs, all sorts of things going on. Remember, we still got some of these in stock. These shirts, they're great. Tribal Beast Fitness, WXPS Soccer shirts. Love it. So, with that, today, we're going to do something a little bit different. Instead of the predictions video or a weekend roundup, we're going to do a Champions League group stage roundup, as the group stages have just finished. And yeah, let's get into it. All right, so first group, we got Group A, which was Manchester City, PSG, Red Bull Leipzig, and Club Brugge. And I think, as you'll see with a lot of these groups, it kind of finished how you would expect going into the tournament. City and PSG topped the group, Leipzig in third, Bruges dead last, and it was really just who was going to take points off who. So it was a little bit, I don't know, Leipzig kind of underperformed, but then when you look at the strength of the PSG team and the strength of the City team, they were one win away from going through. So like when they were ahead against PSG, I think match day 5, right? And if they win that game, they're on 10 points, PSG's on 8, and they go through. So it's kind of like they weren't too far off. Obviously, they've not done so well in the league, and Jesse Marsch has been sacked. But yeah, it's kind of what you'd expect from a group that's set up like this. I think PSG didn't look as good as everyone thought they were going to look, but that's been the case with them all season. City, 4 wins, 1 loss, only to Paris, away in Paris, and then the last loss on match day 6 after the group was already wrapped up against Leipzig. Bruges getting some points, which is good. I think not that you'd be happy with 1 win, 1 draw, and 4 losses, but in a group like this, if you are Club Bruges, I think you can take something away from that. You know, you got a result against PSG, all sorts of good things. So I think City will be more of a threat than PSG later. Well, it depends, right? Depends on what version of PSG pops up, right? Because when you have a front 3, I know Neymar is going to be out for a little while, but if you have the talent of Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar, especially in a tournament when you just need 1 win, that talent can win you any game. So we'll see, but I don't know. There's some good teams out there, like the winners of Group B, which is Liverpool. So these guys were one of 3 teams, I think, that swept the entire group. So Liverpool looked comfortable the whole way. People kind of tip this as like the group of death. But again, I know Milan has been stronger recent years, but when you kind of look at, I remember one of the ESPN analysts, I think Jules, said that we keep underestimating Porto. When are we going to stop doing that? And they basically showed us again that they are going to keep this group competitive. And they were, again, like Leipzig, 1 win away from advancing. So if they beat Atleti in the final day, they go through. Same with Milan, right? If results go their way. So Liverpool ran away with it, but there's only 3 points separating Atleti from Milan in last. And so, yeah, Milan didn't look great against Liverpool B team on Wednesday. But I don't know. Sometimes it's just the way things turn out, right? Like, I didn't pay super close attention to this group, but just based on the table, like, you're up against good teams, and like they only had a goal difference of -3, whereas Porto had -7. So it wasn't like they were getting blown out all the time. So we'll see. I don't know. But again, it's kind of how you'd expect, right? You'd expect Liverpool to top it, and then Atleti probably would come in second as the defending La Liga champions, and then you'd kind of have a toss-up for Porto and Milan for 3rd and 4th, and that's what it was. Only 1 point separating them. So, all right, unfortunate for Milan, but Liverpool looking really strong, and they'll be definitely a threat later in the competition. Group C, Ajax, second team that swept the whole thing. They looked really good. And this one also kind of went as you'd expect, except I'd say bar Dortmund going into the Europa League. But you'd expect Ajax and either Sporting or Dortmund to go through, and then Besiktas to be in last. And again, that's what happened. It's disappointing for me as a Dortmund fan that we couldn't get a result against Ajax, even just a draw, because that would have taken us through. I know we had the red card in the second game against Ajax, which was, in my opinion, not a red card. But Ajax are looking really strong. It's gonna see, the thing with Sporting and Dortmund is, and Besiktas is, like, they're not, for the way that Ajax play, it kind of works well with those teams. But if they end up playing like a Liverpool or a City, can they do that against those teams? Because Ajax play out from the back, they play nice football, but City do that just better. So can they adjust? Can they play a different way? Can they get a result in the knockout stages against one of the big boys? I don't know. I'm not so sure, but we'll see. It remains to be seen. But I like Ajax as a team. I like them as a club. I like the philosophy. So hopefully they do well moving forward. Dortmund a little bit disappointed, but hopefully we'll do well in the Europa League. But we'll see. For them, Besiktas, 6 losses, 3 goals for, 19 against. Just didn't have a good tournament. All right, on to Group D. We've got, again, this one kind of finished as you'd expect, except the fact that Sheriff grabbed 2 wins and a draw and were 1 result away, really, from getting through to the knockout stages, which is absolutely astonishing considering they're some tiny club from Moldova. Shakhtar looked horrible. But Madrid, aside from their 1 loss against Sheriff, which stunned everyone, they conceded 3 goals the whole group. 2 of them were in that game to Sheriff. So they only conceded 1 goal the rest of the group. 5 wins, 1 loss, 14 goals for. Very comfortable for them. Inter did what they had to do to go through, getting the 2 wins against Sheriff and kind of putting their hopes to bed of advancing. And then Shakhtar just didn't have a great group, only managing 2 points from the group. Inter, I don't really know. I think they're going to probably be around a 16 out. I don't think they'll go particularly far with the loss of Lukaku. I know Martinez is a good striker in Korea, and they've got good players, Barella and some of the others, but it's just not, they don't have the strength of some of these other teams, right, that have finished in first. You look across at the Bayern Munichs of the world, the Cities of the world, the Liverpools of the world. They don't have the strength to go ahead and win. But if they get matched up against a Lille or something like that, then maybe they've got a chance. So we'll see. But yeah, Madrid looking strong. I think they'll probably go quarters or semis maybe. I don't think they've got enough to win it. I know Alaba's there, but I think the defense is too, and they do have Courtois, but I think the midfield and the defense is the midfield is amazing, but it's, if they end up against a City or a Liverpool, can they match that midfield for pace and energy and physicality? And that's the question, as Modric is like 36 now, and Kroos is getting older, and Casemiro is not the fastest either. That's going to be the question for them, in my opinion. All right, on to Group E. Bayern, another team that swept the group, super comfortable for them. And then Benfica, Barcelona, and Kiev. So again, this was one of the only ones where it's kind of how you'd expect, but because the way that Barcelona have been, but you'd still expect them to go through. They were 1 point back of Benfica. Props to them for going through, but Barcelona only scored 2 goals in the entire group stage, which is atrocious. Like, even Besiktas scored more, and they lost all their games. So yeah, I don't know. Xavi has got a lot of work to do with them, and I want them to get back. I want them to get back to the heights that they were once at. I don't know that they'll reach that particularly, because it's not like you just find Lionel Messi running around every day. But we'll see. He's playing the kids. They've got some good young players, Ansu Fati, Dembele, although he's never healthy, Gavi, Pedri, Nico, Dest, Araujo, a couple others. So, like, we'll see. And then some of the other kids from the academy. If I think I said this in one of the other videos, but I think Barcelona might have to accept just like shifting out everyone, all like Titi, Coutinho. Like I know PK and Busquets are legends of the club, but them. Oh, how could I forget De Jong? De Jong, of course. But then just play like a U23 team basically for the next like season or two, and just see what sticks and what doesn't, and then kind of go from there while you figure out the financial situation, because you don't have enough money to buy anyone. There's no quick fix for them. But Bayern looking dominant as usual. Yeah, they'll be a big threat. I think Bayern City will be up there towards the end. Maybe Madrid. Those are the sorts of teams that you'll be looking at. And then Benfica, again, if they get a decent draw, if they come up against maybe a Lille, or even depending on which version of Ajax they get, an Ajax or something like that, they could get through and cause some problems for some people. They got a good squad. All right. On to Group F. Got Manchester United, Villarreal, Atalanta, and Young Boys. Young Boys had 5 points. 4 of those points were against Manchester United, who topped the group, which to me is hilarious. I know the first one, they had Wan-Bissaka got the red card in match day 1, but it's funny how football works itself out. United go through, I think, fairly comfortably. They only needed a draw. They got the draw. I don't think they'll go far. We got a new manager trying to sort things out with them. I don't think he'll have enough time to really... I don't know. They could get an easy draw in a round of 16, but I think quarterfinals is probably the ceiling for them. I don't see them going further than that just because of the balance in midfield. What's weird is they have the players to do it, right? If you look at somebody like for me, their best midfield would be McTominay, Pogba, and like Van de Beek or something like that. And then you have, and I know you have the Bruno problem, but who like, or maybe McTominay, Van de Beek, and Bruno. In the tough games against lesser teams, you can play both Bruno and Pogba, but or maybe Matic and the other ones. But I don't like having a double pivot of McFred hasn't seemed to be working. Like I don't know. I don't even know. Just with him, I don't know. We'll see though. I think quarterfinals, maybe if they get lucky in the draw, like somebody like a Benfica or a Sporting goes through to the quarters and they get a lucky draw, a Salzburg maybe, then you could see them get to the semis, but I don't really see it, to be honest. Villarreal, similar situation. I think they did well to get through the group, but I think round of 16 out for them probably. After they won the Europa League last year, it's a good step for them as a club. Good step. Get through the Champions League group stages, show you belong, and put up a good fight in the round of 16 and see what happens there. But I think that for them, success has been achieved. Obviously, you want to win all the time, but realistically, I think success for them has kind of been achieved. All right, Group G. This was the one where, again, like going into it, the only thing that you knew for sure was that Sevilla was going to finish in third so they could go back to the Europa League and win it again. And that's exactly what they did. 1 point clear of fourth, and not really close to second place at all. 4 points back. There they are. But across all the others, you look at even Wolfsburg to Lille, 6 points between them, right? If one of the games Wolfsburg beats Lille, they're both on 8 points. And so this group was extremely tight. And it will, again, I talked about this in the predictions video. It's one of those things where you never really know who's gonna, these teams are all fairly evenly matched. None of the goal differentials were particularly big. +3, +2, zeros. I know Wolfsburg had -5, but even so, that's just an account of the fact that they lost 3 of the games, rather than like if one of those games is a win, then you're still looking at a -2 or something like that. So very competitive group. Lille and Salzburg, I think both probably round of 16 outs. But again, depends on draws and whatever. But Salzburg played good football. I've not watched too much of Lille this year, so we'll see. Excited to see the draw. We'll make a video on that one as well once that comes out. I think that'll come out Monday. So we'll do that one then, react to kind of a Champions League draw reaction predictions sort of thing. All right, last but not least, Group H. Again, this one went pretty much as expected. You got the two big boys, Chelsea and Juve, finishing first and second. Juve in first, Chelsea in second, and then Zenit and Malmo in third and fourth. And yeah, this one was pretty much cut and dry. You knew this one, it was just going to be who's going to finish first, Chelsea or Juve, and that was it pretty much. It was a fairly predictable group. I think Chelsea probably, Tuchel picked a weaker side at the end. They got a draw, ended up in second. That might come back to bite them, but they've got a strong enough team that they can get through to the final again. And yeah, so Juve, we'll see. We'll see Juve. It's good that they finished in first because that'll get them a nicer draw going forward. But because they've been struggling this year, so we will see. Like a +4 goal differential with 5 wins and 1 loss is not great. They've not been dominant in their games, so we'll see. With that, we'll wrap this video up. Remember, get your merch. DM us, World XP Soccer on Instagram. We got sizes left. We got some shirts left. Get them quick. They're going quick. And yeah, with that, we'll see you guys probably for the Champions League round of 16 draw reaction video next week. And we will see you guys next time. Peace.